This is just so I know this is the video that's appropriate. Anyway, Joseph Onesta, type 2 diabetes mentor here. Today, we're going to talk about cravings. It might be a little bit of a long video, maybe 15 minutes, and I'm sorry about that. But if you experience cravings, and like the client I talked to yesterday who felt like she was completely a slave to her cravings, um, then this is for you. We're going to talk about how you can crush cravings. Uh, Again, type 2 mentor here. I'm not a doctor. And I'm not a research scientist. I am just a clinical hypnotist who combined the mind power of hypnosis with appropriate lifestyle changes to reverse my own type 2 diabetes. I haven't had medications for 5 years. My blood work is, my A1C, for example, has been 5.4 or less for 5 years, always in that normal range and without medications. If I could do it, you can too. So let's talk about cravings. Cravings there's nothing really physiological at the root of a craving. Like if you're, oh, I'm craving bananas, I must need potassium. Well, what is it when you're craving potato chips? What is it when you're craving ice cream? What is it when you're craving mac and cheese? What that idea that, oh, I'm craving, I must need potassium because my body is craving, I'm craving bananas, is absolutely ridiculous. I'm sorry, we're not made that way. If you saw the other video, and if I knew how to do end screens and things like that, I would do it for you. But if you saw the video on hunger, there's a thing called nutritional hunger, where if you do need some nutrient, your body might make you hungry, but I don't know that your body is going to make you crave certain things. And most of the things that we crave are not nutritional anyway. There's just not a lot of nutrition in the things that we find to be the object of our cravings. So what's going on here? I'm going to get a little sciencey, right? We're going to talk about three brain chemicals. The first is dopamine, the second is serotonin, and the third is oxytocin. These are three pleasure brain chemicals. We call them neurotransmitters. When they're in the brain, we call them neurotransmitters. And I'm not going to go into all of that science and where does that come from. The thing is that you have made an association between a feeling, an emotion, and a food. You created it. I'm not blaming you. We all do it. It's natural. Like, I grew up Italian, and I can tell you, if I find myself, and it's pretty rare these days, but if I find myself craving something that was part of my childhood, there were certain cookies, for example, around holidays that my mother would make, or my mother's homemade bread, or my mother's homemade pizza, or some amazing pasta dish that my mother would make. It's really not the dish that I'm looking for. It's really not the pizza. In fact, the pizza isn't, I'm going to eat the pizza. It'll taste good. But when I'm done eating the pizza, I may still have the craving. I may still have the desire. And the thing that I really want is I'm missing my mother. Now, I had the privilege of taking care of my mother before she passed away, and for making those dishes for her because I know how to make them. But the truth is, if I'm feeling like I'm missing my mom, or I'm feeling lonely, or I'm feeling rejected, or I don't know, isolated, it isn't the food that's going to fix that. what is it that I actually need? Well, I can't get my mother. I can think about her. I can look at pictures. I can enjoy memories. But what I really need at that moment is oxytocin. And oxytocin is the brain chemical associated with being connected to other people. So I might call a friend, for example, and chat on the phone. Someone I haven't talked to for a while. I have to admit that Facebook doesn't do it for this, particularly because the algorithm only repeats things. But anyway, or maybe I need to get out. I need to get out of the house. I need to be around other people. I need to enjoy other people's company, even if it's not intimate, even if it's not personal. Like I could go sit in a cafe somewhere. Maybe I pull out my computer or something, or I read a book or something. We have these wonderful cafes here in Pittsburgh where people do actually sort of hang out. Excuse me, my voice is weak today. But I need to be around other people. That's oxytocin. Well, let's say I'm craving some food and I realize I'm craving it, and maybe I'm being driven. Maybe there's a part of me that wants to drive to the store to get this, or to start baking, or start doing something, start cooking to have that food. I stop myself, just like the oxytocin. I stop myself and ask, well, what is it that I really want here? What is it that I really need? How am I feeling? Note that word feeling right now. Well, I'm feeling agitated. I'm feeling anxious. I'm feeling nervous. Oh, if I'm feeling agitated, nervous, what do I need? It isn't a donut. It's not a piece of cake. It's not a pizza. What I need is to relax, to become tranquil, to take a few moments and be by myself, or maybe take a walk in nature. These are things that we need and that we often neglect in our self-care. And that agitation, anxiety work, what we really need is serotonin. That's the brain chemical. Some of us, you might even be taking an SSRI, a selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor. You might be doing this for anxiety. You might be doing this for depression, taking that. And what that's doing is making the chemistry stay in your brain a bit longer, although I don't know how selective it is, and I'm not a doctor. I can't verify that. I do know that it doesn't always help everyone, these pills. I think that's fair enough. But so if it's serotonin I need, take a walk. Even if it's raining, get out, take a walk, get some exercise, move around, pick yourself up. Like some people, believe it or not, and they can go overboard, shop. That shopping picks them up. And it's not necessarily that they're buying anything, it's that they're in that environment with other people and they can buy things. But if you buy things and don't take them out of the bag, you know you didn't really need the thing, right? What it is you enjoyed that environment. Maybe a coffee shop is better, as long as it doesn't lead to the scone or the donut if you're a diabetic. Okay, so, and then what if I'm feeling down? What if I'm feeling sad? I'm a little down. That's dopamine. I'm lacking dopamine. And what I need to do, it's not going to come from a donut. It's not going to come from an ice cream cone or a piece of cake or a plate of pasta or pizza. It's not going to come from that. That'll help me while I'm eating it. But that's not going to address the issue. If I'm down, I need to pick me up, and I don't need a pill for that. Maybe I'll watch some comedy. I can go to YouTube and find something to laugh at. Maybe I'll go out and play. I might call a friend and say, let's go bowl a game or something. Let's, sometimes, and I always, it's always better with someone else, but, someone will call me up and say, why don't you come over and we'll play, this video game or something. Okay. As long as I think it's fun, but I'm also getting the oxytocin of being with someone whose company I enjoy. So I need to do something fun. I need to laugh. I need to enjoy myself. So when I'm dealing with a craving, the first thing I want to do is stop. The old railroad crossing, stop, look, and listen. Remember that? Do you remember? Stop, look, listen. Stop, look, and listen. I'm going to stop. I'm having a craving. Gee, gosh, I'm having a Jones for, I don't know, pizza. Really? What's going on here? What is it about the pizza that I think is going to help me? What do I really need to address? Now, this is work. And sometimes I need to talk to somebody about it because I get confused. We all do. Excuse me. We all get confused. But understand that a craving is always emotional. It is never really biological except in response to some connection that we've created. And that it's far more effective to go after what we really need. Oxytocin, serotonin, dopamine. Joseph Onesta, Type 2 Mentor here. I hope this has helped you. If you're watching it on YouTube, like and subscribe because you're supposed to. I'm not monetized and don't want to be, but go ahead and do it because then you'll know if I do another one. If you'd like to have greater contact, I've got a Facebook group listed in the description. You can find me on Facebook. You can find the group on Facebook, and we can always talk. My website is in the description. Joseph Onesta, Type 2 Mentor. Thank you so much for spending this time with me.